Hello designers, welcome to part 2 of my series of creating patterns in Microsoft Word. Today we're going to do images as patterns. So I'm going to show you 3 different ways to do really cute, dazzling, delightful patterns that you can use in your scrapbooking, for your craft projects, anything that you need a pattern for, you're going to create it today. Okay, let's get into Word and get started. First things first, let's do a new document. I am going to go up to Format. Now, as I've stated before, I am in a Mac, so I'm using Microsoft Word for Mac. If you have an older version or if you're on a PC, there are a few things that are going to be different, but for the most part, they're pretty much the same. You may have to check out your own shortcut keys or search. I have a devil of a time still searching for the 2 panes that we're going to use the most, the selection pane and the format pane. So just bear with me, and if all else fails, I always say Google, Google, Google. My Google search history is so crazy with just, how do I make this bigger? How do I make this smaller? So format, document, I like to set up everything in scrapbook paper size. You don't have to do this, but if you wanted to create your own digital scrapbook pages or printed scrapbook pages, manage custom sizes, 12 by 12, then you could do it this way. And I only have an 8.5 by 11 printer, so if I need a 12 by 12 sheet for a scrapbooking project, I would just print it out, slice it, and like wallpaper, you would just tile it together. Okay, so that's good. Ignore that. We know what we're doing. Ignore. So we've got a 12 by 12 with 0 margins. And the first thing I want to do is, what is the first thing I want to do? I want to insert my adorable art. So we're going to go picture from file. I found on vecteasy.com, I will link to this art below, an adorable penguin. Look at this guy. Now, what's great about this art, and when you're searching for art, sometimes it is going to make a difference. This is, I'm going to grab my handle down here and drag him down a little bit. This is a .png, and it has a transparent background. The first thing I need to do is, before we go any further, under layout, under wrap text, you want to go in front of text so I can just move this anywhere. It's not anchored to the corner here. Now I want to show you the great thing about a PNG real quick. Let's go to insert, shape. Nope, not that shape. Let's put a little bar behind him. I'll send this back. And look at that. See, you can, and also you can see his hat. Definitely gonna need something other than a white background for this one. So that's what's great about a PNG with a transparent background. It's clear, it's cut out, and it makes it, a lot of fun to design with. Gives you a lot more options. Okay, so we'll get rid of that triangle for now. If you watched my video before, you know that we're going to use 2 panes a lot, and I'll show you what I mean. Under layout, I want to hit this selection pane. And again, depending on, it might be in different places, so just hunt for your selection pane. And then I also want to use, it may not let me use this. I want to use my format pane, but they're not going to let me open that until I have something to format, like a shape. So let's go ahead and do that. We love our adorable penguin. We're going to keep him here, but we're going to cut. You can go edit, cut, but I always recommend learning your shortcuts. For Mac, it's going to be Command X, and for PC, it'll be Control X. And it's okay. He didn't go anywhere. He's on our clipboard. Word is going to save that one cut for us to use after we go up to insert here and do I want to say triangle for rectangle. It didn't take. Here we go. You're going to get these little crosshairs right here. I like to go over here so it doesn't mess with the text on the other side. And this doesn't have to be perfect because you can always, I want to do 12 by 12, and come over here and adjust it. So come up here, 12, 12, And then one of our most used pattern buttons, the align. Align at center and align at middle, so we know that that box is in the exact middle of the page. Now it will let me open this format pane over here. So under fill, we're going to click on this picture or texture fill. And that was from the last lesson. But let's click clipboard. Hey, there's our penguin. He's so cute. And we're going to tile this picture as a texture. So cute. Oh my goodness. Now we're going to learn how to add space around your image in on the next paper. But for this paper, I kind of don't want it. It's kind of cute the way it is. So I'm going to keep this, and I'm going to show you two ways to do this pattern. One is, let's go over here and let's change offset these all to 0, not offset X to 0, offset Y to 0. And for the scale, I want more penguins. So let's try 20. Even smaller. Let's try 15. And this is part of the design. Yeah, I like that. Now, see, we know our box is centered, but our pattern is not. And I kind of like where we're going with everything here. So on this X, let's see if I can do this correctly. X, Y. I don't know why that helps me remember it, but X goes this way, Y, and then you smash down to Y. I'm going to move X. And I'm going to move Y down just a little bit to see if I can get rid of this. Not that it matters, because you can cut these, or, you know, you may not even do that. Okay, so we might have a little bit. That's okay. And the last thing I'm going to do, because I want to see that cute white pom-pom on the top of his hat, is I'm going to click Design. I'm going to go to Page Color, More Colors, and I just want kind of an icy blue behind him. So cute. I love it. Now, this is one way, this is the easy way to do a pattern. I prefer that my patterns have a little bit of variation with the lines. Sort of like kind of what designers do with their patterns. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on our, I don't know what that is. Uh-oh. We're going to click on our handle down here, and I'm going to make just one line of penguins. Now with this image, it's a little tricky, so I'm going to zoom in so we can see that line. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know these lines are the bane of my existence. So come over to our format pane and click no line. Okay. You can also under shape format, click on this, no outline. Okay, so let me move him down just a little bit so you can kind of see his feet really close up here. So I'm going to move his feet all the way to the bottom here. All right. This takes some tweaking, because sometimes you have to use your X and your Y button again to get this guy just right. I'm going to move him down just so I see those feet. Right. And I'm going to move this up. Nope, not moving that one up. Let me undo that. Uh-oh. Boy, they just do not want me to do, they don't want me to do this. Normally you would have a little bit more space. Now let's see if I can just tick this Y up. Nope, it's X, Y. No, it is Y. There we go. Okay, good. So we have our penguins. Let's zoom back out. And now this is the great thing about using the pattern fills. We're not copying and pasting elements, and everything is just mathematically centered. You can copy and paste this, or what I did is I held my Option key down, it's Control in Word, I believe, and just held it down and dragged it. And now let's make sure I only have that box selected. Actually, no. Let's keep these centered for now. In fact, let's double check and go up to Shape Format And under align, let's just make sure everything's centered. And we're gonna use our shape options. Nope, yes. Fill, our paint bucket. Okay, we're gonna use our X again because we wanna move all these guys this way. Just so they're right in the middle and they're gonna make a little formation. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Okay, I'm thinking that looks pretty good. And now I'm gonna hold my shift key down. That's control for word. And I'm gonna select both of these and I'm gonna hold option and I'm gonna drag them. And I'm just gonna do this. And you don't have to be, you can try to be exact just to get a good feel for what you want, but you don't have to be exact because we're gonna use our align button again to get all these guys just perfectly lined up. Let me see I'm gonna zoom out. Okay, so I only need one more. So I'm gonna grab this one. Make sure, you wanna make sure, see at my cursor that you have the 4 arrows. You wanna make sure you have that for dragging. And then you're not clicked into some other box. Okay, and so we wanna take our top one and get him a little closer to the edge, and we're gonna move our bottom one so his feet are just a little away from the edge. And now let's go over to our selection pane. I'm so sorry for the PC people. I have not figured out how to do, for Mac, you can hold down shift and select them all at once. This rectangle too is something else. That's just like your default word space. But I'm gonna select all my rectangles. So if you're on a PC, just hit control, hold down control, and you'll do them one at a time. I'll do it with you in solidarity. And now back to shape format, align. And we're gonna align, you want this beautiful distribute vertically button. Ta-da! And now everything is spaced out exactly where it needs to be. And let's go align and align center just to make sure everything's centered. Isn't that great? So cute. And I think this is just a little bit something, I don't know why my invisibles are there, something extra to make it really feel like a professional pattern. So that is pattern number 1. Let's move on to pattern number 2. Okay, so for our next pattern, I got another cute vexed easy piece of art. And what makes this one different is it's a JPEG. And also it does have a white background, which I'm fine with, but it has all this stuff. I just want this donut. And one of Word's great features is we can scroll over, I'm under picture format, to this crop button and click on that. And I'm just gonna move everything out except my donut. And because I already want my background white, it's not transparent or see-through like the last image was, but that's okay because this is gonna look good on white. And also I don't have to add an additional box around it like I did in the polka dots from the first training. Okay, and you just click off anywhere and now you have your cropped donut, gorgeous. And let's cut this. Back up to insert, shape, rectangle. There's my little crosshairs. And, I never hit it exactly. 12, 12. Align, center, align, middle. And let's pull our format pane up. And we're going to go to fill. Let's get rid of that pesky line that I know is there, not that it matters, but no line. We don't want it accidentally printing somewhere. And picture or texture fill, and there's our penguin from our first paper. Hit the clipboard. Hey, donut, and let's tile this picture as a texture. Looking cute. So you could leave it here, but I'm not gonna do that. And you don't even have to start out with a 12 by 12. You could just do this. I do want to add a little bit of space on my Y there. So that feels more centered. Beautiful. And I like this size, although it's the same size as our last one. So maybe I'm fine with that. And then let me show you another little trick. I'll just go back to where I was. I'm going to copy and paste this. And then I'm going to just keep it super close right now. so that when I go to my fill and I go to my X, remember we're moving it this way. Just make sure everybody's where they need to be. And just like in the last lesson, this all remains the same. I just wanted to show you how to crop an image that you could use for tiling. And look at all these little donuts. Now I am going to go to my selection pane just to speed this up a little bit. And I'm going to select all of these. It's control click for PC users. And I'm going to copy and paste them. Either command and control C. Okay, I'm going to have it looks like, no, that's pretty darn close. And let's go ahead and select everybody again and align this center. And can you see over here where my handles aren't really where they need to be? So let's move them here. Okay, that's good. And while everything's still selected, let's make sure everything's centered. And then the big one is, just like we did with our stripes in our last pattern, we're going to distribute vertically. And it just moves them just a hair, but now we know they are just mathematically perfect. I love it. There is your second pattern. Okay, so obviously you would probably use your own family member, but you never know. I love that Word has online stock images that you can use for your personal projects. And I know that they have this, we're gonna do like a little heart themed, a little Valentine's theme. And they have an adorable little girl with some bubbles. So I'm gonna click on her and hit insert. And there she is. Now this is a really cool feature of Word. Okay, I always forget picture format, wrap text in front of text. We don't want to be beholden to our text. So I'm going to grab this handle down here and just size it down a little bit. And this is such a great feature. So go to your crop tool and under crop to shape and scroll down to this little heart. So cute. But the heart to me looks a little wide and I kind of want to change where she is in the position. So let's go back to crop and we're going to go to fit. And so now I've got two handles. I've got my crop tool, which is going to this black handle on the bottom, and I'm going to make my heart more just sort of, I want more of a squarish shape. And then I've got this other handle where I can pull her, except I don't want her to change. Let's do our crop first. Come back here with me. Let's go back to crop and go fill. Okay. And I'm just going to drag my white handle and make her a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to hold this down and move her over a little bit. Oh my goodness, so cute. Now, just because I'm a persnickety designer, as you may be as well, let's go to rotate and I'm going to flip this horizontal because I want her looking this way. And I want to add, let's go to insert, shape. I want to add a couple of hearts just on top. So we've got this, and I'll just, no outline. I'll hit my shape fill. I'm just going to use the standard red, and I'm going to turn this a little bit, almost like a little piece of confetti. And now I'm going to hold my option, it's control for PC, and drag this, hold it down and drag it, and just click on this one. And let's make this the other red. Maybe I'll do this way. I think I'll size them a little bit too. I'm going to make this one a little bit smaller, this one a little bit bigger. You know, just have fun with it. Okay. Now, The great thing about cropping with a shape is it's the same thing as our PNG from the first pattern, which is it's now transparent, so we can put a colored background behind it. But in order to have some air, I don't want everything bumping into everybody. You know what else we can do? Click on this real fast. I just had a design idea. Layout. Is it layout? Design? Where are we? Home. Let's do a little. I'm going to click on this heart for a second because I want my shape format and I want my format pane. I like to bring the format pane in the selection frame up at the beginning of the design, but I don't always remember. Okay, now I do want a line. Can you believe it? I want a solid line and I want, click on it till I can see it. And I'm going to use my second red, I guess. Oh, so cute. Look at that. Now I've got this little space up here. This takes some zhuzhing, for lack of a better word. There we go. I hit that miter cap and it kind of filled it in. Oh my gosh. How cute is this, you guys? So let's insert shape. Another rectangle. So we're going to just build this so that we just have some white space around it. And let's send back just. And we're going to make sure this has no outline and no fill actually. And now, oh, where's my selection pane? So we're in shape format. Here's my selection pane. I'm going to hold down either shift or control, grab all those, and then let's go up here and group them. And ready? We're going to cut these. So learn the shortcuts, cut. So that's safely tucked away on our clipboard, and let's insert another rectangle. And we're not going to do the full thing this time. Let's just go 12 across because I know we're going to use our little pattern trick, but let's do ensure that it's 12 and let's do ensure that it's centered. And let's go to format, our paint bucket, no line, fill. Let's do picture or texture fill. There's our donuts from our last pattern. Hit on that clipboard. Just make sure you click tile pictures texture. And there she is, but let's make her bigger. Let's go reset to 0 on these and let's make her twice as big. Let's try 30. A little bit smaller, 25 maybe, 25. Do I hear 25? So close. 22. They won't let me do half sizes, otherwise I would. 23. I didn't like that first one. I guess I typed it wrong. Okay. I'm okay with 23, but I do want this first box to feel a little bit more centered. See where it's cutting? So go ahead and offset X because we're going that way. And let's move it. Don't worry about the bottom just yet. So that we see kind of, I mean, it's not really going to matter. It doesn't really need to be centered now that I think about it. And let's bring this up. This is the great thing about having that white space there, is that you've got plenty of room, unlike our penguin, which was kind of tricky. Now let's move this down. So I held Option and dragged it. And we're going to go back to our shape options. See, I was on text options. Sometimes it gets confusing. And let's move our X again. Nope. I had both of them selected. That was my bad. Just the one, please. Shape options, fill. Okay. Now we wait. You can always plug numbers in, but I just like to watch it and then let it go when I feel like it's pretty much centered. And this is a good one, even better than the donut because it's transparent. You can see through it. So see, we're trying to hit in the middle of those two. If I get one right, I get them all right. That's the beauty of all this, the alignment that we can use. Okay, now select on both of these. and do what we've been doing all along, which is we're just gonna either copy and paste or drag them down. And then I've got room for one more, it looks like. So I'm just gonna grab this top one and drag it down. And let's figure out where we want this bottom one to go. Like how close to the edge you want it, not all the way to the edge. And the top one looks pretty good. Oops, didn't mean to go that way. The top one looks pretty good. And so let's go to our selection pane and we'll get all these. And then up to a line, let's center everybody first. Not a lot of shifting, that's good. And then distribute vertically so that they're just picture perfect. It's so cute. Now you could keep it white, but since you have the ability, let's hit design to change that. Gosh, what color do we want to use? I don't know that we want to go too dark. Now remember, it's gonna shift everything down, but we'll move it in just a sec. I think just a really, really light color, like a really, really light. So I'm gonna choose that, and then I'm gonna go even lighter towards this white, just for a little contrast. So cute. Okay, now I gotta select everything again and move it up, because adding that page color just added a note to Word that there's something else there, but that's okay. Ta-da! That's 3 papers, you guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I love doing this. Let me know what else you want to learn. Think of all the combinations you can do with this now. You can do logos, you can do funny gifts for your friends. There's so many possibilities using this technique. I really appreciate you being here today. There are 112 million links below of how to get in touch with me and stay in touch. Like the video if you like it, and subscribe if you want to learn more stuff like this. And I think that's all. I'm Christy Kelly. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.